Hey, welcome. Welcome to this week's episode of the Crystal Crawford Show. Today my co-host is, hold please. My co-host is my suitcase. You can't really see it down there. Let me turn this off. So today my co-host is my packed suitcase and these clothes that are out of my closet and those hangers right there. I'll be co-hosting with my suitcase today. So I called this week's episode, Are You Escaping or Creating? Hi, Kathy. And I am co-hosting with my packed suitcase because I thought it would be fun, number one, but number two, it got packed not because I'm going on a trip, but because the man I'm currently dating and I got into a thing on Saturday. And the first place that I went to with what he was dealing with and the problem that he was having is, where's my back door? Where's my back door? Where can I stay? Where can I go? How can I get out? And all day on Saturday, I was listening to SoundCloud clips from Gary Douglas. And one of the clips, I'm going to cheers you guys. Hi, Karen. Hi, Kathy. We're talking about escaping or creating today. This is my co-host, my packed suitcase. Hi, Karen. We have lots of Karens on today. Hi. So all day on Saturday, I was listening to these clips from Gary about escaping or creating and banging your head up against a brick wall. And I was just sort of looking at my life. And I've been doing a lot in the last, hi Paige. In the last, definitely in the last month and probably in the last 4 months since I left Vancouver, there's been a lot of just personal, asking and choosing and creating something different and, and I would say a lot of creation and a lot of destruction, both. And since joining Shannon O'Hara's the Business of Succeeding class, the 10-month class, I've gotten a chance to really look at what success is to me, what that even means to me, what being fully exposed and being fully myself would be for me, what that would create for the future, what that would create for my business, just a lot of kind of really pivotal central questions to, what you're being in the world. And one of the things that I've been noticing over and over and over is that I will get to a certain point with something and then some thing will get tripped, some wire will get tripped inside of me and I'm out. I'm like, I don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm going to go do this other thing. And I've been doing that my whole life. So it's something that it's just been something that I've done my whole life. I did it in my family. I did it in school. I've just done it my whole life. And I'll stay for longer periods of time than others. And so there's this mix of being willing to follow the energy and escaping. And so Saturday was a pretty intense day in this house where we're living right now. And Friday night, something had happened, and Jim had some stuff come up for him around it on Saturday. And I was using it as a way to get out. Now, I have total choice. I can choose to be in a relationship, not choose to be in a relationship. There's an ease to choosing to be in and out of things that I have, and I'm just acknowledging that. It's a capacity. There's also this really kind of insidious thing that gets mashed up with this, and the reason I'm talking about it, where we talk about choosing for you, right? We talk about having choice in every 10 seconds. That's an Access Consciousness tool. You have a new choice in every 10 seconds. And I see a lot of people, including me, going, well, I'm in, and now in this 10 seconds I'm out, and in this 10 seconds I'm in, and in this 10 seconds I'm out. Again, a capacity, because what that does is when you play with choice like that, it takes the significance out of it. You can be in the relationship for 10 seconds, you can be out of the relationship for 10 seconds. You can be in, you can be out. So then choice does become a choice, right? It does become, okay, what do I want to choose? If neither one is significant, if I'm in or I'm out, and it's all just a choice, what would I like to choose? awesome question to ask yourself. One of those things that I invite a lot of people to look at when they aren't sure what to choose. It's like, well, choose to be out, then choose to be in, then choose to be out, then choose to be in. Now, does either one of them matter? So what would you really like to choose? And on Saturday, as we were going through this whole thing, man, I went as far as I rented an Airbnb. I started packing my things. I took all the steps to make a different choice and leave. Not because things were bad, not because things were abusive, not because, just because. I was like, well, this doesn't work for you clearly, and I don't want to be in your way, so I'm going to go. Now, there's a lot of conclusions in that. And I'm using this one example to sort of extrapolate across my whole entire life, and in the hopes that you will too. It's a conclusion that I'm in the way. It's a conclusion that that's the best choice. I didn't necessarily ask a question. Hey, if I choose this, what will my life be like in 5 years? So anyway, I'm in the middle of packing, and I just asked myself a different question, because I'd been listening all day to Gary talk about, are you escaping or are you creating? And I was realizing that what I was doing right then is I was escaping. I was escaping the intensity of the energy. I was escaping the intensity of all the stuff that was up in his world. I was escaping all the stuff that was coming up in my world. I was escaping what felt like the harder choice, which was just stay present and just be here for whatever it is. I was escaping. That was the short thing of it. And thank you, Wesley. So I literally stood, there's a door right there. I stood in that doorway right there after he walked out. He was really struggling because he's, the thing about Jim's an amazing man. And I know a lot of amazing people that when you are in this reality and you're raised in this world and you don't have access consciousness tools, the tools you have available to you are all you have available to you. And, for a guy that's trying to be a kind guy, and this is for all you guys out there, humanoid guys without the tools of access consciousness are trying to be sensitive and care and feel their feelings and be present and all that kind of stuff, right? Well, then you throw someone into the world of access consciousness and, feelings are a creation, and interesting point of view is a choice, and what else is possible is a tool that we're given. You don't have any of those tools unless you're deep diving into the world of access consciousness, so you're literally doing the best you can with what you have available. And Jim was standing there doing the best he could with what he had available to him. And I was looking at this going, I finally just stopped trying to escape. And I stood there and I went, what do I want to create here? What's actually possible? I didn't have any more words. And this is probably the other place this video is going to go. I was out of words. I was out of something that was actually working in our conversation. But what I did have available to me was me. I had me. I had my being. And so I literally sat beside him on the couch, and I just sat there. And I just sat there. And I made my knee touch his knee. And I know enough about sessions and being with people to know that I didn't know what it was going to change, but I knew something would change. And so I just was with him. And that one choice created a completely different possibility for us. Because in the next 30 minutes, we had a totally different conversation. Before that, we were trying to work it out with words. And you can't do that, because what happened is we both got deep into the distractor implant universe. That's the thing about this reality, is it puts you in the middle of a bunch of stuff you can't handle. You can't handle anger, rage, fury, and hate. You can't handle love, sex, and jealousy and peace. You can't handle doubt and business and fear and relationship. And you can't handle life and living and death and reality. And there's more. Like, those are things, that's the distractor implant universe. That stuff you can't handle. So I'm watching him especially be like just drowning in the distractor implant universe, not able to see his way out. Like, what can I do different? What can I say that's different? What did I do? How did I break this? I didn't want to break this, right? I'm watching his world and I'm watching me and my reaction to it, which was like, well, fuck off then. I'm clearly not a fit for you. I'm clearly too undefined. I'm too this. It's okay. It's all right. It's cool. I get it. I'm too much for most people is where I went. I didn't have a lot of feelings about that. I was like, okay, cool. I mean, I care about you a lot. And if this doesn't work, it doesn't work. I was being pragmatic. Use a lot of air quotes around that choice of words. So I went and I sat by him. And as I sat there, all of his barriers melted. and all of my barriers melted, and a totally different possibility showed up. And that, you know how when you ask for something, so you ask like, universe, show me what it is to live and choose fully exposed. That's what I've been asking for. Universe, show me what it is to be fully exposed. Universe, show me what it is. Show me what success is to me. Show me something beautiful. Show me me. Show me the gift of me. And I literally sat next to Jim on Saturday, and I got the gift of me, and I got the gift of him. And I actually, for the first time, got the gift that we could be to each other if we were just willing to not escape. Because we were both doing it. We were both like, oh my God, we have to escape this. We have to escape this. Why? Because things we can't handle. Because, oh my God, red flag. Because conclusion after conclusion after conclusion. Not any questions of like, well, if we choose this, what's our life going to be like in 5 years? And I'm the one that has those tools. And I'm still like, yeah, fuck those tools. Just dive in there with them, And so it doesn't take me but a second to where I'm like, okay, so what choices do I actually have available to me here? And so sitting by him, I got the gift of me and the gift of him. And then I finally got like, what gifts can we actually be to each other here? And one of the things that I saw, that this choice of mine that I keep making to escape, to escape money, to escape my business as I've created it so far, to escape a relationship, to escape all the relationships, family relationships, friend relationships, relationships, is the first person I'm trying to escape from is me. And there is a cool byproduct that came out of this that I might talk about in this video, maybe another one. And I was like, what if there was nothing to escape here? What if I could actually just receive it? What would I like to create? And today was the first day, as I was sort of really looking at what I wanted to talk to you about around this topic, I started to see how escaping things as a way of creation it had never occurred to me to ask, instead of how can I get out of this or how can I avoid this, it hadn't occurred to me to ask, what would I like to create here? And I know I've talked about that before, but you know how you sometimes don't connect dots until you just do? This was one of those, I didn't actually get that. And so as I sat there by him on Saturday and I looked at all this the rest of the weekend, because we ended up spending a full day together yesterday, I started to get that part of what was happening for me was I was using this whole thing to escape. And if the choices you're making right now are an escape in and of themselves, or they're an attempt to escape, they're an attempt to escape presence, or they're an attempt to escape success, or they're an attempt to escape you, well, they won't work. First of all, you can't. You're an infinite being, and they'll work, but what they'll work to do is they'll work to create a lot of destruction. So you may notice that your money flows dry up. You may notice that, you're so welcome. You may notice that your business really changes. You may notice that it works to destroy you. So when you try to escape you destroy you. And that's the only problem with it. And that may be working for you in a weird way right now, and you may just want to look at it and go, am I creating here, or am I escaping? And so when I looked at this, I was like, I'm using this whole thing to escape from what? From my life? From the creation of a totally different future? From this energy that's just pulling and tugging at me and just begging to be in the world? Yes, all of that. So what if I didn't do that? What if I actually chose something else? What if I actually, what if I looked at this man who's so willing to just give and give and give and give and give to me, and I went, I wonder what I can create here. I wonder what we can create here. One of the things I got yesterday was I'd never asked, what gift could we be to, healing these parts of ourselves that are still so jumpy. I don't know about you guys, but, there was so much of my life that was so hard. And so there's all of these achy bits inside of me that aren't yet revealed, that I haven't yet chosen to expose, even to myself, that are still sort of tender, that are I meant this, but it got taken this way, and so I closed myself down in this way when I was 2. Those bits. And I hadn't really discovered those until I got to hang out with this incredible man who's like doing the best he can with his bits. And I'm like, I'm being all tough and like facilitator, and I'm like, well, inside, I'm like, interesting point of view. You've got that point of view. Interesting point of view. You have those feelings and blah, 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 and blah. And feelings are just a creation. I'm not saying all that out loud, but I'm being that energy, And he's like, I know there's a soft you in there somewhere. And I'm like, I'm being the soft you. Soft me? What are you talking about? I just don't function from a lot of feelings. Guess what turned out to be true after? I guess what turned out to be true when our conversation was over and we were more relaxed. Guess what turned out to be true? I am so protecting all of those like soft, gentle, exposed, hurting, bits of me. I'm so protecting those. And I have been for as long as I can remember. And that's okay. Like, that's okay. It's all okay. I just didn't know it. And that one choice to not pack my suitcase and turn around and go sit by him on the couch actually gave me that awareness. And it gave me the awareness of something I'd been asking for the last 2 months. So the other thing I'll say is that if you're asking for greater, it never shows up the way you think it will, and it may show up in you packing your suitcase. It might show up in a really, really random way. But the only thing you can do when you try to escape the greatness of you is destroy you. And the greatness of you doesn't have a definition. The greatness of me is just me, The greatness of me is sitting by him on the couch. The greatness of me is showing up here, The greatness of me is in the conversations I have with people. And it just is. It just is. I just am, But when I try to escape that by letting all of these other distractor implants and not asking a question be more important, more real than my ability to create something different, that's when I lose everything that I lose me. I just lose me. I lose what's possible with me. I no longer have access to my creative capacities. Jim in that moment didn't have access to the choice that I made there. And that doesn't make him wrong, I had access to it. I was the one that could make it if I wanted to make it. So I did make it. And it did create something totally different. And it created a greater future. I don't know what that's going to look like. But this is true of every little thing in your life. Like when something's pinging you for your attention, like your money or your taxes, or all those things that we like to avoid, and we avoid them, what gets destroyed is your future, What gets destroyed is the greatness that you could actually be, because those are the things that are going, hey, 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 pay attention to me. Hey, 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 like, hey, pay attention to me. You've been asking for something. I know this doesn't look the way you think it will, but the way you think it would show up, but you've been asking for this thing, so go do your taxes, right? But instead of choosing that, most of us, I know for me, like, I go into escaping and avoiding. So what if you didn't avoid it would actually give you everything you've been asking for? What if you just turned around and faced it and you were just present and you actually asked, am I trying to escape this or am I willing to create? I'm trying to escape it currently. Is that just the thing to acknowledge? Okay, I'm currently trying to escape. Okay, do I want to make another choice? Is that really where I'd like to live? Is that going to create what I'd like to have? And that was one of the things I ended up saying to Jim. I said, I know how to leave so well. Like, I leave just enough resources to do it. I know how to do it. I know how to make it happen. Even when the shit hits the fan, like, I know how to leave so well. I was like, it just doesn't always create what I want. And one of the things I heard Gary Douglas say once in some class, he's like, I always know I have the capacity to leave, but I never do. And I was like, am I actually willing to choose that? And in some areas in my life, no, I'm not. And in some, yes. And I keep just going, what would it take to really be willing to choose that? To really just stay present. Now, does that mean there are some people you need to boot out of your life? Yeah, there are. There's assholes. And you'll know. But you'll also know, when you're escaping. And I finally just got to the point where it's like, what am I escaping to? What am I escaping from, and what am I escaping to? Like, where am I going? That is the other thing that kind of hit me smack in the face of like, okay, so if I leave here, I'm leaving here. I'm going, I have no idea where I'm going. I'll go to an Airbnb, and then I'll go to another Airbnb, and then what am I creating? It was nothing in that moment. I was creating nothing in that moment. I was just getting away from. I was like, oh, well, I don't have to live my life that way. Like, I know how to create like a motherfucker. What would I actually like to create? I hadn't asked myself that question. It hadn't even occurred to me. I was so busy. I have been so busy trying to escape what's actually possible for me, the choices I have available to me, all of it. What I know I'm here to bring to the world. I've been just escaping all of it. Not always. In fits and spurts. I've created so much. There's so much amazing stuff that's come out of what I've created in the world. And same for you. And I'm talking all about me in the hopes that you put yourself in my words, if it applies. But if you are currently escaping, what would it be like to create? If you weren't fighting against, what could you fight for? What's the energy that you came here to champion? What'd you come here to champion? What is that? Did you come here to just completely get away? Or did you come here to institute and actualize something on planet Earth? What is that for you? How will you know when you've succeeded at it? What would you like to run towards? I mean, run towards. And guess what it requires? Just you. Just as you are. Messy, packed, unpacked, lipstick, no lipstick. You're the gift. That's what it requires. Are you willing to be that? Are you just willing to be that? Look, the other piece of this is like, man, I've been trying to hold my shit together or look like I have my shit together forever. And I mean, that shows up in makeup and hair and nails and all that stuff, sure. Big houses in Vancouver, all that. And all of that is a gift also. So, I mean, stuff can look the same and be something completely different. And I'm like, what if I just was me? What if I just stopped trying and just started being? Just like that. You just slip into being just like that. And out of being comes all this doing. Out of being comes all the things. What do I actually desire to create? Okay, what's it going to be? What's it going to take? What can I be or do to actualize that? You know? If money's the thing that I want to create, okay, what's it going to take? What can I be or do to actualize it? What do I know? What's so easy for me? But coming from that place of like, coming from being. And when you are busy trying to escape, there is no being in that. That's the doing of something that you think is going to get you a fixed result, like protect you, like not deal with something, like, it's this fixed result thing. But it doesn't actually do that. It just destroys you and destroys your life. So everywhere you've made destroying your life more vital, valuable, and real than creating it, would you destroy and create all that? Right, wrong, good, bad, POD, POC, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. What choices do you really have available to you? What choices do you really have available to you? Not to anybody around you. The people around you don't have the same choices available to them that you do. You've got them. What do you want to create with this person, with this relationship, with this business of yours, with this awareness that you have? Whoa, I almost dumped that in my lap. That would be terrible. Then I would have to escape liquid in my crotch, and then we would have a whole other video. Anyway, I'll stop yakking at you. I hope this was a contribution, and if it was, would you share it? And there's going to be much more coming from me, and my big invitation to myself, and thank you, Christina. My big invitation to myself, and I'm putting this out there just in case you want to steal it, is to be fully me. And, sometimes that's going to look teary, and sometimes that's going to look like I'm laughing, and sometimes that's going to look how it's going to look. But to really be me, and to invite you into classes and things that are going to change reality by being me. And I don't know what that's going to look like yet. And I think that's one of the things I've been avoiding all this time because I decided something about it. Maybe you decided that you're not enough. Maybe you decided that you being you is too small or too quiet or not like this guy or not like this girl or can't do, I don't know what you decided about being you, but one of the things you could play with is just everything I've decided being me means. I'm just going to destroy and uncreate it all. Right, wrong, good, bad, POD, POC, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. But that's my ask for myself, is if I'm doing facilitator, I'm just going to give that up and give it up to Jesus, If I'm doing business coach, I'm giving that up. If I'm just giving up the doing of being, and I'm actually just going to be. And it's always messy. That's the truth about being. Being is always messy. If you let the earth take over any part of land, any part of itself, you just let it be, you don't cultivate it, it's messy as fuck, right? There's vines and trees and shrubs and beetles and bugs and things, and it just goes crazy because it goes into this constant state of create. And it's just being, it's just out there being. Now we can get in there with, pruners and nails and hair stuff, and we can make it look different, but left to itself, it's messy. And so that's you too. There is no you put together. There is no you ready for what, There's things that create and things that don't create, choices that you make that create, choices you make that don't create, and that's all. So what would it be like? What would it take for you to really choose to be you? And without having to try to find that. Because you being you is this right here. It's just being. And I keep saying just being. Being is the point, you guys. Is escaping or running one of the distractors, Crystal? No, it's just a choice we make. Anger, rage, fury and hate, blame, shame, regret and guilt, addictive, compulsive, obsessive, perverted points of view, love, sex, jealousy and peace, business, doubt, fear and relationship, life, living, death, and reality are all distractor implants. And there's an amazing book that Stephanie and I are doing a book club on right now, Living Beyond Distraction, on our page. If you want it for free, you can buy it on Amazon. It's epic, and it's a game changer because it gets you to start to look at where you're trying to fix the things you can't handle. You can't handle those. They aren't meant to be handled. That's why they put you in so much trauma and drama, because you cannot handle them. Guess what you can do? You can be. Guess what the gift you are when you run someone's bars is? You being. Guess what the gift you are when you receive bars is? You being. Guess what the gift you are when you walk into a room? You being. So for some reason we think that when we create a business or we do something else that we have to do something else. We have to be that person. You have to be me. You have to be that person. You have to be what you've decided success looks like. I have done that my whole life. It's not true. You're already the gift. And so this choice of just bringing awareness to what you're choosing, going, hey, am I escaping with this choice or am I creating, will just give you an awareness of like, oh, I'm escaping. Okay. Do I want to choose that? Would I like to choose something else? If I did choose something else, would it create more? Okay. Wonder what that is. And then choose something and see how that shows up. That's exactly what I did on Saturday. That's exactly what I'm doing with my life right now, you guys. Because if it looks like on the outside, like if it looks like from your perspective that it's this and that and back and forth and in and out, it has been. Guess what? I've been working out my stuff. I've been working out what? Choosing things and, not choosing things and then unchoosing things and then looking at what I'm choosing. But that's the thing. That's the thing right there. That's it. That's consciousness. And consciousness includes you, just as you are. And you don't have to be any different to create what you'd like to create. You don't have to be different. You're already the gift. And you don't have to escape you to be someone else. You're already it. I'm already it. So I just want to thank you for being. I've gotten to talk to a lot of you over these last couple of weeks. I'm calling people. And again, if you want a phone call, please send me your phone number. I will call you. It's been such a gift to me and such a gift on the other end. And so anyway, I'll wrap up with that. What are you escaping? Are you creating? Just add this tool to your toolbox and just know that in that moment, you don't have to make yourself wrong. You just ask yourself, okay, so if I was creating here, what would I choose? And please, if you got anything out of this, share this with your friends. Torture them with it. Torture your family. I'm so grateful for you, and I will see you guys next week.